All right, I know Shedeur Sanders is a hot button topic. No matter what you say, you're either a lover or a hater. For me, I want to see all these guys succeed. I want to see Shedeur succeed. I want to see Dillon Gabriel succeed. I've got absolutely no agenda in this whole thing other than I want these guys to be better. And when I break it down, I tell you what I see. I tell you honestly, and hopefully these guys get a chance to see the video, and maybe it's things that can help them get better. But that to me is my own agenda and my only agenda. I don't have any other reason to even break this stuff down, because I am for all of these guys. No matter what I say and whether you like it or not, I am for all these guys. So let's kind of dive in and take a look. Obviously, we all know, wasn't the ideal situation. Didn't get a lot of practice reps, as we've already discussed. Fair, unfair, normal, unnormal, whatever. I've been in situations where both has been true. No reps for the backups going into a week. Some reps for the backup going into the week. So every situation is different. All right, so come out here. Really well done right here. He comes out. I love, how he's coming downhill. So always looking at technique. The more you can come downhill and attack. You want your body, after you throw it, to be chasing where you want the ball to go. So you want to be chasing your target as you're coming down. So you see him start to chase it right here. Good, accurate throw. I like, just the easy, go get him a completion right off the bat. Something that's easy, split the field in half. Everything's right in front of him. Doesn't have to read the whole field. Get him a nice completion, and they do that right off the bat. All right, we're going to get another completion right here. So the concept here, they're going to run a little hook over the ball, a little swing, and an in right here. Okay, so not sure how they read this. Probably inside out, because you don't get a true high-low with these two guys when you send this guy in, inside. Okay, so I like the in on the outside, but that to me would be more if you left this guy out here and you could high-low this defender. You could high-low that defender with the situation of the hook being wider here. But once you go inside with him, I think you have to read him first, and then if you get a pull down here, you can hit this in a little bit further inside. So I'm just kind of guessing on the particular concept, because each one happens in a different window, so that makes it a little harder. But a lot of times when a team puts a guy over the ball, they teach guys to read it first, and the Mike linebacker got depth here. And so, right, you see the reaction right there. Okay, so he gets the reaction, and that's where the in comes open. But plenty of space here that I think if that's your first read, you come back and you put it on your guy right now. Nice decision. Good start here for Shedeur. Just getting the ball out of his hands and getting some completions. Okay. Now, tough situation here because, and I talk about it all the time. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. Having a pressure plan. Okay, and it's not just on the quarterback. Quarterback is part of it. So they're going to bring this guy right here, and he's hot. Okay, we don't have anybody to block him. So what is your plan as a quarterback, and what is your plan as a team? Okay, so in this scheme, who do we have that we can throw it to hot? Okay, and so 99% of the time you want that to be to the side of the blitz. Now they're going to bring a shallow here backside, which I've used at times as my hot. I don't like to do it because you never know what's back there. You want to try to hit the void that the defense is giving you by blitzing. So that's why you like to keep the pressure in front of you. You like to see that void. You like to get it out in front of you. So I don't really like the shallow. So with that being said, we're going to watch these guys come off. Okay, so what I'm always watching is when these guys come off here, okay, all eyes are down the field. No eyes back to the quarterback. So none of these guys are available right here for the quarterback to throw it to him. Okay, so I'm not really sure the front side concept either. Like, I don't really know what we're doing right here, what we're trying to do. And then whatever we're trying to do, we're bringing the shallow back here. But you notice nobody looks to the front side. So you have to ask, okay, what is Shedeur supposed to do with the football? What is the answer for him right here? Is it get back to the shallow? Okay, again, very, very tough. Was somebody supposed to look and didn't look? Makes it tough as well. And sometimes the best decision for a quarterback is just to throw it away. Instead of taking a sack, knowing that there's nothing available, know where your quick throws are. Either throw it into the ground right here or try to find your shallow. And if you can't find him, throw it into the ground right there and know that's how you save a play. So that's one thing I think Shedeur has to get better at, is always wanting to try to make the extra play and hold on to the football, which has led to a lot of sacks for him. This is another step that he needs to take. They bring pressure. Yes, I want to have an answer, because it looks like he's looking out there to go, okay, I want to throw it quick. I know a guy's free. I want to get it out of my hands, and I don't know what's going on up top, if they messed up the combination, if somebody's supposed to look or whatever it was. But in this particular case, we got to just throw this away. We got to just find a way to get this ball out of our hands right here, knowing we've got a free hitter, and save that extra yardage. All right, I mean, again, we can say everything we want to say. To me, this is a good defense as much as anything. You see they come out, and this defender is sitting outside of him, and he's planted his feet. You'll see, if I rewind it here, you never see his hips turn as if he's threatened. And so right now, this is going to be tough for Shedeur. He's making the right read. We got corner off. You're going to read this outside in, and it's a pick aside, right? Because we can always say, oh, well, you could have picked the other side. Well, he could have, but nobody knows exactly how it's going to play out. So you pick a side based on who you're comfortable with, or what you're comfortable with from a throw standpoint, or maybe even a matchup that you've talked about. So you pick a side. So he picks a side to the top. Corner just jumps it, makes a good play. Not much you can do. We can talk about, a few different things. Ball could be a little bit further outside maybe. I would talk to this receiver that I always want to run this angle and get to the outside edge of that corner. I don't want to run at him. I want to run outside of him so I can get leverage, and it makes it easier for my quarterback to just throw it to the boundary because I know we've got leverage. You see right here, he kind of splits his body and leaves this guy a touch outside already, so he's got the leverage that he wants, and he's able to break on it and break straight down. But I think more than anything here, that's nitpicky stuff with those two things. That's a corner that, whether he's reading the quarterback or he's just choosing to squat on this, he squats and he makes a nice play. All right, this is the interception right here. And so I'm not really sure what he saw right here. Again, we've got a free hitter coming on him, which should be picked up. I don't really think that affects too much. And it looks like we're going to run a bench route here, and then we've got the out route underneath it. With this guy sitting hard outside, and even with that receiver, those bench routes are always going to be tough. Going to be tough for that guy to throw him by and cross his face, and to be able to throw it on time. Throw really should be underneath here to the out once he sees that leverage. He's trying to anticipate, thinking that I think his guy's going to cross his face. But again, that to me is all about leverage. And again, not just leverage, but also where the DB is. With the DB being even with the receiver, that's where you got to get off of this, and you got to go underneath. If he's high and above the receiver, now we feel like there's a chance that he crosses his face and we can get this throw. Okay, so first interception, not a great decision in my opinion right there, just based off of the relationship And again, we can talk about reps. This could be one of those, hey, I haven't seen it, didn't see how it played out a number of times in practice to know that guy in that relationship won't cross his face and get down to the next one, all of those different things. But at the end of the day, bad decision right there, based on that relationship, and leads to an interception. Okay, so coming out here on the naked bootleg. So we got a naked bootleg, not able to, so you'll see they're going to try to wrap this guy around, and he's the one that's supposed to be in the flat, corner, cross like we always do, and then your trail route is coming back here, okay? But as he comes out, the first thing that happens is our wrapper gets banged right there, so I lose my flat, okay? So that makes it tough right off the bat. You lose your flat, okay? So all you have is an inside corner here, which is tough. You have your crosser, and then you have your trail coming out here late, okay? So as he comes out right here, there's not a whole lot there. I mean, this corner is running back to this corner route, and not something that you normally look at and throw. It does come out, and there maybe is a shot right here, but when you come out as a quarterback, you're looking for a flat. This first, that doesn't show up. You see the corner turning and running back to the corner route. So now you're trying to negotiate this crosser to this trail route right here, and tries to drop it back in to the trail, almost gets intercepted again. It's a heck of a player right there in Kyle Hamilton. And I guess the one thing I would say for Shedeur right here is, once you break contain here and you get outside, go this way, okay? So what you're going to see is Shedeur turn and go tighter here. When he goes tighter there, it doesn't stretch Kyle Hamilton as much. If you're running to the numbers, Kyle Hamilton has to cover you to the numbers. If you cut down on the hash, now Kyle Hamilton only has to cover you on the hash, and he can fall back and play this trail. So again, watch it now as you see him come down, right? He's coming down. If he just puts it on the burners here and stretches it to the numbers, I believe Kyle Hamilton's going to come here. And when that happens, he's either got the trail or he's going to have this crosser off of, what happens right here by Roquan Smith, okay? But he kind of condenses this a little bit to me by coming down here and making the space a little bit easier for Kyle Hamilton. But again, it was a good play. It looks like Kyle Hamilton's going to commit to Shedeur. He wants to drop it off inside, and Kyle does a nice job of being an athlete and making a play. But again, just some little nuances there that mess this whole thing up. Your wrapper gets banged from the get-go. You're a little tight on your course, and you got a good football player that makes a good football play right here. Okay, tough situation right here. I think this is 3rd and 3. And so what you're hoping for is man-to-man coverage. Now, I don't have any idea what they're doing out here. So they're going to run this quick route right here. A lot of teams have run this over the years, trying to get man-to-man, create a little separation, sprint out here and put it on that guy and get the first down. And then on the outside, what you really like is something to be able to work back to the inside here. So if they do run to a zone, which they do, and this guy comes off, you at least have a second throw right here. And maybe they're just trying to run a go route. So if that corner comes off, I mean, again, I don't know what this guy's doing on the outside. He turns and stops, and we can't want to have a route right there, because what you see is number 2 covers both of them, right? He comes off on the quick flat, and 44 still outside behind him. So there's no way you're going to expect that concept to get both of those guys open. So again, I don't know what 44 is doing here, if this is a mess up on the route, if that's really what they want. But you get zone, and you allow number 2 to take away the flat because he's got leverage on the flat. So if you throw that, he's blowing it up. And you allow him to cover 44, who's running an outside release something, stop route. So he's able to cover both of them. And Shedeur is in a no-win situation, expecting to get man. They run into the worst possible zone that you could get, and the concept's not in his favor. Great job by him to tuck this thing and find a way to get to the sticks for the first down. All right. So another tough situation right here. Should be, based on what the offensive line in the back do, it should be picked up right here. So it looks like maybe Njoku is checking this backside guy. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right here to be able to pick up those 6. Once this guy falls off, Njoku is able to go out on his route, and we should be all good right here. Okay? So again, it's a mess up in the protection. He's got no chance right here. And again, with Njoku possibly chipping backside, I would assume his read probably starts to the front side. But again, based on the concept, I would say the opposite. I would say read starts here, high, low, to cross, to in, okay? But maybe Njoku is not checking or chipping. Maybe he's just releasing, and so maybe I'm wrong there. So you see Shedeur look over to that side, and number 1 is covered, has a chance at number 2, but he's already getting pressured right here. Not much you can do. And again, in a lot of these situations, I like to say throw it away. I'm not sure he has a chance to throw this away. If he gets away from this a little longer, then maybe. But right here, I don't think there's any chance for that. So again, this is a win by the defense. Nothing he could have done any different in this situation, because number 1 wasn't open, couldn't get it out of his hands, and mess ups up front leads to another sack. All right, so tough right here. So they're going to run, go, cross, okay, and then in. Okay, they're going to take the back, and he's going to the flat. Okay, so what this read really is it's going to be a top read. Going to clear out hopefully with the go route, and then it's going to be a high-low read here. Getting back to this one seldom happens. It happens every once in a while, but it seldom happens. It's really kind of a front side cross over to swing read. Okay, so as you come off this play fake, okay, the one thing that I would say, and again, a lot of these pure progression type reads, when you come back and look at Shedeur, it looks as if he looks right here. Okay, so just watch, because I'm always watching eyes. Okay, see how his eyes are more down the middle of the field right here. Now, I think his eyes get back to the other side. Okay, so what I would like to do is have him come out and eyes over here, make sure that guy's cleared out, and then get your eyes on this guy right here. Does this guy get depth? Does this guy match down to the back? And that will tell us a lot of what we're going to do right here. But regardless, he comes back and he's looking for the cross. Doesn't have the cross. It's covered really, really well. In this situation, you probably don't think you have the back. Now, this guy kind of green dogs because he sees the back chip. So he is going to cover him, and then he hits it because he thinks he's going to block. And so you're going to see the flat come open here, right there. And so it would be nice to say, okay, get it to your back here based on that initial read. The hard part, though, is this guy is moving to play man and cover the back. And that's why when you come here, you see man. So your only other real option would be to work to this in right here. Unless you can feel that that guy blitzes and try to dump it off to your back. And so maybe he comes back to the in and there's a shot at it right there. But again, it's hard. You're not expecting that. You're expecting this to win against man, or you're expecting to get a high-low over here against zone. You're not expecting to get all the way back to that in. So as he comes back, like again, he turns right here, and so as he turns right there, maybe you think, okay, you can work and get to your in. Maybe you're trying to work in that direction and there's a shot at it. But again, I'm not, taking this and going, oh, this is bad by Shedeur, because you just don't get there very often. You're thinking front side, front side, front side. You're trying to make a play front side. You don't think you have anything. Yeah, there's a chance to get back to that in. But this green dogger, I think, messes him up. He thinks he's going to cover the back, so his eyes are off of him, and he's looking for the crosser, and it's not there. And nice job there, just like we were talking about. Knowing where your check down is and just get rid of it and save the sack. Well done by him. And you can see not a lot of guys running wide open for Shedeur here. I know we look back and we look at the stats and 4 for 16 or whatever it was, and we think a bad performance, but to me, you got to look at the entire context of things. Okay, so here, all right, I'm not really sure what we're doing. Okay, so we've got a little hook here. We've got an in coming there. Then we got this guy going into the in over here. So I don't really know. And then we got another in on the other side. So we got in, cross, in, here. Like, I don't know. It looks like he looks to the right first and he doesn't have it. This guy's X'd out. This guy's in the mix right there. So again, with an in there, I can't believe you're going to go to a cross. I don't really know what that is. So the only option would be to come back to this guy, the outside in with the swing here. As you get back there, there's your read. This guy gets depth right here. Just dump it right here to this guy. And again, we're seeing an unclean pocket and we're seeing pressure right here. But to me, when you see them pop out and you don't have it, okay, you're right back there. Okay, think that's enough time to see this guy right here with all this depth, all that depth right there, and just dump it to your back here. But nice job. If there's not enough time for that, to be able to escape and then go and just make a positive play out of something. But again, not really sure what the concept is here and why we have double ins. And so he starts one side, tries to get back to the other side, pressure once again, and just trying to make something happen. All right, it's a tough concept right here. This is one you want against middle open. They end up closing the middle, so they're going to run a corner route. Then they're going to run an under and an under over here. And it's hard because you can see we're going to have 1, 2, 3 defenders over to this side. Okay, so it's going to be hard to get guys. They're going to pass a corner off to the deeper guy. And then we've got 2 underneath guys to take the unders. Now, the biggest thing that I would say when you have this concept is always peek this out here. So if you get off coverage, there's a great chance for the outside under if you get any kind of a squeeze by this number 2 guy. Okay, so we're coming off and we're going to read this interior part of it, see if we get a carry there, and then we're going to try to hit the first under. And then if we get a squeeze, be ready for the second under. So it's not the perfect play call against the coverage. And you see the squeeze by number 2, and then you possibly have the under to the outside. The other thing that I don't like is I don't like that this breaks later than this one. So it cuts down the space that you have between these two. I'd like the inside guy to go faster, go quicker, so you can get that read and clear out for the other guy. But so when you watch it, you see the outside guy's already going in and the inside guy's standing there. So it's the other thing is I know he's open and going to be the open guy, but look where you have to put the throw. Like there's bodies in there, there's color in there that I don't feel comfortable making that throw right now. So again, to me, route concept does not help him here. And he tries to fit the one in underneath. And again, might have some space, might be able to fit it in, but it's really tight there. So we really want to read this guy. And if this guy pushes off to the outside. Now we've got that clean throw, bang, right on the top of it. And then if he squeezes, work to the outside. But again, timing to me is not good. So everything gets condensed to the outside, even though the outside guy is where he's supposed to throw it. The other thing that you can do is you can see the rotation down, okay? And then a lot of times we like to work the one-on-one to the backside. You get that, and they push everybody to the front side here like they're doing. Work your one-on-one to the backside is another option for him. I'm not sure if that's just a go route over there. You can take your one-on-one go route if you want, but the read to the front side is off of that number 2 guy. All right, so we got pressure once again. This particular play just looks like what you call a double seam combination. Okay, so it's seam, seam, then you're gonna run stops on the outside. Okay, now to me, you come back, you get pressure. Okay, so you see bodies are coming. Biggest thing is go find your one-on-one to the outside on either side. Get back, get set, and let the ball go. Okay, get back and get set and let the ball go. You know, he's looking for his double seams, which again, isn't a terrible thing when they close the middle, because we like double seams when they close the middle and we can work this safety 2-on-1. Again, the problem to me is pressure up front. When they're bringing bodies, the easiest thing to do is to simplify the game, drop back, find your one-on-one, and just put your foot in the ground and let it go. Again, the pressure's coming. You're going to have to stand in there, deliver. Okay, so guys are starting to break right now. So to me, he's got enough space to set and let one of these go on the outside. And that's going to be part of playing the position at this level. It's going to be pressure. You're going to have to stand in and deliver and make a throw. Now, if you're looking at the seams first, so it takes you a little bit longer to get there, now maybe you don't have time to do that. So that would be my one teaching point is that you get a clean coverage, cover 3, go ahead and read your double seams and then work to your stops. You get pressure. They're bringing bodies. Don't sit there and hold it to work through the entirety of the read. Get back, find your one-on-one, get it out of your hands, and make a play. Okay, again, nice job. I'm not sure if they called this or not, if he got out of the pocket or not, but the idea is right. Don't have anything. Bail, get out of the pocket, throw it away. So I like that part of it. But to me, and all young quarterbacks, hey, if anything's not clear or clean or you're getting pressure in these situations, try to find your one-on-one on the outside and just make the game easier. All righty. Okay, coming back. Obviously the best throw of the night. Really well done. We're going to come back and basically just run a 2-man route. Deep post here. Big in. We'll go over the ball. We'll go with the swing. Go with the flat over here. Okay, so you're peeking the free safety to the deep part of the field. He gets depth as you would expect. Now this really becomes a high-low right here off of that defender with those 2 receivers, and then down to your back right here. Nice job. See, he gets a flat-footed linebacker right here who starts to pull up. Great job, great throw up over the top. Like his pocket presence right there, standing in the pocket, not drifting back, standing in heavy, delivers a great throw. All right, so basically just kind of a similar concept to both sides. Curl, actually run a 7 stop, but it turns into the same sort of thing. Flat out here and go underneath here. So it's kind of a mirrored concept to both sides. Pick a side. You see they're going to rotate down with the safety here. So I like the decision to go back to this side. I like the read. All of this is good right there. Okay, maybe the biggest thing is just try not to drift too much. And I know there's been pressure, but just that drift takes your body in the wrong direction, maybe forces you to rush it a little bit because you're not quite set when he's turning and when you want to be throwing the football. But the read is good. Everything's good right here. He's got the split of these linebackers here. He's got the throw. Just got to make the throw. And like I said, some of the movement, so your body coming to the sideline, and then all of a sudden it pops open and you rush it a little bit. Good decision right there. Just a little better throw. Get it up a little bit earlier, right? Let that thing go. That guy's already turned around. You'd like that ball to be in the air as he's turned around. But just a little low on the throw. But again, I like the decision. Just some little things to clean up with the footwork, which again was something that Shedeur, you knew he was going to have to work on. You know, the drifting, getting back there, getting set and loaded into that back foot and working up in the pocket instead of back in the pocket, to help some of these situations. And I know, muddy pocket, not clean, which is going to be the case a lot of times in the NFL. So you got to get back, get set, you got to see it, you got to rip it, and you got to stay heavy into that back foot so you can let that guide your throws as much as possible. Okay? Really like this right here. Okay, so I'm not really sure. I mean, to me, there's really no reason the offensive line should pick this up. I know this left tackle passes this off and shows as if he's possibly going to pick this up. But, I mean, this is really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This guy is the hot guy to that side. So as you come out, okay, once again, where are you throwing it? No eyes, no eyes, no eyes, nothing quick. Here comes your shallow again. But I hate that those are the only options. That is really hard on a quarterback. He has to buy time, figure out where to throw the shallow, and then try to get it out in front of him. All of these different things, especially with the zone dog when guys are popping out into those areas. Against man, okay, you can buy a little bit more time. He runs away from his guy. It's one thing. Against zone dogs, much, much harder. But this is what I talk about every week. What's the pressure plan? What's the scheme pressure plan here if that guy comes hot? Come off the ball, slow off the ball, give your eyes to the quarterback. If he wants to take it, let him take it, and then continue your vertical route. Give me an option into the pressure to throw the football instead of having to do this and buy time and then try to make a throw and looks like a pretty decent throw, right? Like he looks like he does everything right here in terms of no hot options. I got to wait for my guy to get there. I got to hold the football as long as I possibly can, and I got to try to make a throw. All that stuff looks really good. Looks like it should have been caught right there, but just a tough situation there without having a scheme hot plan other than the shallow coming from the backside. Okay, so again, you got the drift, right? I'd like him to just continue to get better at being solid in the pocket. And I know there's color that's coming here, but just getting back, setting, trusting the guys in front of you. And again, we're just going to have clear out, over, shallow. We're going to level type play to the backside. And even though he's sliding away from it, nice job being able to kind of see what's going on there. Coming back to it, right read, right there. Good job reading it out, getting it to the right guy. Another good decision right there. So I think the theme, and a lot of people came out of this saying, oh, he didn't play very well. I mean, I think the theme that you're seeing from what I'm seeing is that overall, I thought the decisions were pretty good. The interception, not a good decision. But overall, I feel like he's doing and getting to the right guys. Some things to surely clean up and some throws that could be a little bit better. But a number of plays, there's not a whole lot of options for him. Not a lot of things going in his favor and making it easy for him. Okay, so another situation right here. Okay, we're going to run a similar type play. Okay, so we're going to run post, over, and then tight end is going to go to the flat. So we're going to have that same kind of flood concept that they've run a number of times in this game, and a universal concept. So it's a good concept for a young quarterback that hasn't got a lot of reps because he's repped this play numerous times in his life, and so is going to be comfortable with it. Okay, but again, details to me. Details are everything. All right, so when you get this concept, what you really want to do is you want to read the double posts first, okay? But what you're going to notice is this inside double post flattens it, almost makes it an over route, which frees up this free safety so we don't have either of the posts because of that. So, again, just I want you to watch that as it plays out. See how that guy right here, I would want this guy to run through here. Okay, so stay away from this guy and force this guy to make a decision. Does he want to chase you, or does he want to get depth and take away the other post? So if you stay skinny and he wants to keep getting depth, now we've got a shot to throw this here instead of just taking ourselves into the backside corner and allowing that free safety to pass it off, right? So he goes right back there, he goes flat instead of, and it's why I call it an influence post. I want you to influence this safety. I want you to set your angle at his inside number, and I want you to run through that angle. Once you set the angle, stay on that angle. Force him to do something, okay? But do not bring yourself into a backside guy, because that allows him to pass it off to cover the outside post, and that's what they do. He doesn't respect it. He covers the outside post. So now we're trying to read this over to this flat, and now normally we'd like to do it off a flat defender, but our over isn't getting there, and Roquan Smith's doing a nice job getting depth and holding that off. And you see there's already pressure. He's already having to take off right here. So it just, again, not a clean look right there. Nobody's really open at this point in time. Feels that crease, takes off, and again, creates a positive play. Take a positive play any day of the week, and he creates a positive play with not a lot happening down the field. All right, so this one I'm going to put on Shedeur because they're going to bring pressure right here, and Njoku actually peaks right here as he's coming off, okay? So this is what I was talking about, was you bring pressure, boom, right there. Right there. Now it happens fast. They're popping a big defensive tackle out here. I'd like to see this guy widen a little bit because he knows guys are popping out. But Shedeur, this is one. They're bringing pressure. You got to know who your hot guy is. They're giving you somebody here. They're making somebody available to you. Catch it, hot potato. Get it out of your hands as fast as you can to your tight end, and you live for another day. Okay, that's really the only quick throw that seems to be available to him. So that's where you got to go, and you got to be ready for it here. And like I said, you got Njoku so close to the line of scrimmage. I'd love to see him, when that guy comes, just widen just a touch, just to stay away from anybody that's popping from the inside. But got to see this hot, got to get it out of your hands. Nice job making a move right there and trying to make a play down the field in this situation. But you don't like to have to live in that world where you got to make somebody miss against pressure, even though he does a nice job right there. And but I like at least Cleveland in this situation going, okay, I'm going to give you a hot option. Give me your eyes. Okay, give me your eyes if they bring pressure off your head where you know the hot guy is, and at least it gives the quarterback an option to get the ball out of his hands. Okay, looks like a play that should be caught right here. Now, again, situational, what you want to do you got to get points, all of those different things. All I would say right here is when you've got two guys off and they bring pressure, I'm going to work the easy throw. The throw down the field with a corner off and pressure. I've got to hold it. I got to try to let him get by that guy, all of those different things. To me, I'm taking the easy completion. I'm taking the easy one-on-one. Okay, so he's off. It's a 5-yard out. Just put the ball right here on your guy and then say, all right, you got to tackle him. You got to tackle him in space. Let your playmakers make plays for you. You got to do that sometimes. Not that this guy that he throws the go route to shouldn't make a play for him right here, because it looks like a good ball. Looks like he could have caught it. Just got knocked out at the last second. But to me, make the game as easy as possible as a quarterback. Let your guys work for you, and you get the ball. That's Judy right there. You get the ball to Judy right there on time. I like the option. I like, where we're going to be set up from there, and it's just the easier play in this situation, even though it's a fine ball and it's an opportunity to make a catch and all of that stuff. It's just tougher. It's just a tougher throw. Just make the game easier would be my only real critique right here. And you can see down on the bottom, right, we got third down. Third down right here. This automatically gets us the first down, if not more, maybe even a touchdown if he makes one guy miss. So I'd like to stay on the field, move the chains, and then take my chances with 4 more downs. Another one here, terrible job by the offensive line. They miss right off the bat. He's got no chance. The guy's running down the field. Tries to make a late play. Again, nice job, right? There's nothing he can do here. There's nobody open right here. He's going to look at these seams, and then he's going to work back to this juke that's coming here. So that's what he's going to wait for. Quick pressure, which you don't expect. And not bringing any extra guys, just 4 guys. Nice try to reset. But again, this just goes back to the last play. Now, he doesn't know that they're going to miss and something bad's going to happen, and it's not on Shedeur that they mess up this play. But if we go back to the last play and you take the easy one, we've got a first down. This is the 4th down play. This is where the game ends right here. And so you'd like to have 4 new downs. So if this does happen, we still got a chance in this game. And again, hindsight 2020, if he catches that ball and scores a touchdown, we're all celebrating. But that was just, to me, an easy first down, easy completion, move the chains, live for another down instead of trying to make the big play in that situation. And so that's where it ends. So overall, I thought Shedeur played a really good football game, right? Clean some things up, make some better throws, all things that I think can get better as he gets more comfortable getting thrown in. We've all talked about not an easy situation to get thrown in without any reps, not expecting to go in, all of that stuff, and come in and play well. But overall, I thought the decisions, when he had opportunities in front of him, were pretty good decisions for the most part. Number of plays, there was nothing there. He's making some positive plays. Some things, hey, throw the ball away, avoid the sacks, something he's got to work on moving forward. But to me, the stats lie in terms of how I thought Shedeur handled the situation, and I expect this week to be even better.